Even Taehyung had returned from the party last night and gone to bed, but you have been feeling nauseous since then. Taehyung, when I have called a doctor, okay? He said this after you come out of the washroom, sitting on the bed beside him. You nodded, still feeling weak after being sick. When? Taehyung, you can go and find now. Taehyung, are you sure when? If you want, I can stay. You shook your head. When? No, Taehyung, the doctor is coming and I'm feeling better. Taehyung, okay, should I bring a breakfast here or I will come down? Why, no thanks, I will come down. He smiled. Taehyung, I asked Mina to make your favorite breakfast, he said, picking up his watch. When? Thank you, Taehyung. He closer and kissed your forehead. Taehyung, take care, wifey. With that he left, leaving you with a warm feeling despite the remnants of your sickness. In the car, Taehyung spoke. The drive of the office was longer than usual today. The morning sunlight is streaming down through the window. Little did left a heavy weight off my chest. Today I had to tell one everything. The secret I have carried for so long. The part of my past that still haunted me. You and me and a child. As I maneuvered through the city traffic, my mind wandered back to the last night, seeing one so vulnerable, so weak. I had stirred something in me. Despite everything I cared for her deeply, her presence had become comforting constant in my life. The time has to come to tell one everything, but how could I muster the courage? I dreaded her reaction, feared the hurt and betrayal she would feel every time I imagined her. I remember the look on her face when I kissed her forehead this morning, the trust in her eyes she told me would be fine. She had no idea about the storm raving inside me. How could she? I had become a master at hiding my true feelings, said Max King. But today the figure had to crumble for her sake and mine. She deserved to know the truth about you and be her child, even if it meant shattering the fragile peace we had built together. I couldn't keep living this lie, not when wine had. I took a deep breath, gripping the steering wheel tighter. I hope I can tell her by evening. The thought echoed in my mind. I pulled into the office parking lot. Later, as I sat in my office, my mind was only half focused on the task at hand. Thoughts of wine kept intruding, making it hard to concentrate. I could still see her sitting beside me this morning, her concern for me evident despite her own discomfort. The way she always put me first, always tried to make. I had to tell her no more telling, no more hiding. Today I would come clean. Back at home, one was having breakfast when there was a knock on the door. The maid opened it and the doctor walked in. Doctor, good morning, Wine. I received a call from my husband. Hey, good morning. Time skipped. Doctor, congratulations, you are pregnant. One eyes widened as the world seemed to collapse around her. When, what, I'm pregnant? The doctor nodded again, smiling. Doctor, yes, man, you are 2 months pregnant, she said this happily, but one mind was racing. Doctor, I can't wait to see Taehyung and his mom's reaction to this news. I'm sure Mrs. Kim will be beyond happy. One felt a wave of panic wash over her. She was 2 months pregnant, but it wasn't Taehyung's child. Taehyung spoke as I sat in my office. My mind was far from paperwork in front of me. All I could think about was fine. I need to tell her the truth today, but I was reading it. Taehyung, hello, Mrs. Park. Mr. Kim, it's Taiji's nanny, Mrs. Park. Taiji has a high fever and is asking for you. Taehyung, okay, I'm on my way. When I arrived, the doctor was there, administering medicine to my son. I sat beside Taiji, holding his small hand. Taiji, I want to go outside. Taiji's weak voice tugged at my heart. I nodded, deciding to take him out for some fresh air. We spent a few hours outside, Taiji's laughter echoing in the park. For a moment, I allowed myself to forget the burden of my secret and just a father to my child. But the thoughts of fun. I took Taiji to an ice cream parlor near the park. His eyes light up at the sight of the colorful treats. I couldn't help but smile. As we approached the counter, I noticed someone familiar sitting on a bench nearby. Rain. Seeing Rain, there was my shock. My mind raced, thinking about how to handle this encounter. I glanced around and saw that Taiji was playing a bit farther away with some other children. For now, he was out of it. Rain noticed me and walked over. His expression was a mix of surprise and something else I couldn't quite place. Rain, Taehyung, I forced a smile, filling up. Taehyung, Rain, what are you doing here? Rain, I was heading home from the office and needed some fresh air. Thought I had sat in the park for a bit. There was a sadness in Rain's eyes, but also a hint of happiness. It was clear he was thinking about Juan. The silence stretched between Rain. Taehyung, I know you are a mafia and doesn't matter to me, but if you ever hurt Juan, I won't forgive you. His voice was possessive, filled with intensity that took me aback. I nodded, understanding his concern. Taiji, Dad just then Taiji ran up to me, wrapping his arm around my legs and shouting, Taiji, thanks, Dad, you are the best. Rain face turned from shock to anger in an instant. He looked at me, his eyes wide in disbelief. Rain, Taehyung, what the hell is going on? Who is this child? I sighed, feeling the weight of my secret pressing down on me even more. Taehyung, Rain, this is Taiji, my son. Rain's face, shocked, turned into fury. He pushed me hard and grabbed my collar with his red eyes and anger. Rain, how could you? Could you hide this from Juan? How could you lie to her like this? He shouts. My man was standing a bit away from the park. Few saw the commotion and started running toward us to intervene. I quickly gestured them to stop, not wanting to escalate the situation further. Taehyung, Rain, please calm down. Rain gripped tighter on my collar, but I could see the conflict in his eyes. He was angry, but also deeply hurt on Juan's behalf. Taehyung, I'm going to tell Juan everything. She deserves to know the truth. I have been carrying this burden for too long. Rain's anger was still palpable, but he slowly released his grip on my collar. Rain, you better tell her soon, Taehyung. If you don't, I will. I nodded, understanding the gravity of his word. Rain's love for Juan was evident, and he wouldn't let anyone hurt her, not even me. Taiji, still obviously tense, conversation tugged at my hand. Taiji, Daddy, can we go get ice cream now? I looked down at my son and then back at Rain. Taehyung, we will, and Rain, I promise I will make things right. Rain stepped back, still falling, but slightly more composed. Taehyung, you better, you deserve the truth. As Rain walked away, I knew that my life was about to change drastically. The lies I built were unveiling, and it was time to face the truth head on. Starting with Juan, the thought of hurting her with my confession was almost unbearable, but it was the only way to move forward. After dropping Taiji off at his secret place, I drove home, my mind filled with anxiety. As I pulled out the house, I noticed something unusual. The lights were off, the maids were supposed to stay until I go home, especially with Juan not feeling well. Why had they left? I entered the house hoping to find some clue, but everything was silent. The dark, empty room only added to my anxieties. I made my way to the bedroom. As I stopped on the door, the darkness enveloped me. My eyes adjusted and I saw her lying on the edge of the bed, her face barely visible under the blanket. My heart raced. I needed to tell her about Yunbi and Taiji. I needed to explain how Yunbi's betrayal had led her to tragic end. Taking a deep breath, I walked into the bed and gently sat next to her. Gently shook Juan's shoulder, trying to wake her. Taehyung, Juan, are you awake? She stared, her eyes flooding open, with a look of confusion, worry, nervous. Taehyung, what's wrong? I took a deep breath, my heart racing with the weight of the revelation I was about to make. Taehyung, Juan, there is something important I need to tell you. It's about my past, about Yunbi and Taiji. One blinked, clearly struggling to process what I was saying. Juan, Taiji, who is that? I hesitated, her eyes widening in shock, and she said, pulling the blanket closer around her. Juan, what are you kidding to me, Taehyung? Your son, I don't understand. Why don't you tell me before? I could see the confusion and hurt in her eyes, and it painted me toward her distress. Taehyung, Yunbi didn't die in accident, as you might have thought. She sacrificed herself to save me and Taiji. One face grew pale, and she seemed to be struggling to grasp the enormity of what I was saying. Juan, this is too much, Taehyung. I need to understand more. I nodded, feeling the weight of my own secret pressing heavily on me. Taehyung, Yunbi was working for my enemies. When the brakes failed, she knew we were in danger. She pushed me out of the car before it crashed into a tree. She died, but Taiji was saved. One expression shifted from shock to deep concern. And where is Taichi now? Taeyang is safe. I said my voice breaking. I have kept him hidden because I don't know how to explain everything. I need to tell you because you deserve the truth. One looked at me, her eyes full of tears. One, this is overwhelming. I need a moment to process this. Before I could offer my any words of comfort when phone buzzed, she glanced at it and froze, her face going pale. One thing, there is something I need to tell you too. I am pregnant. My heart skipped a bit. Pregnant by who? One's eyes filled with tears. By Rain. I felt a jolt of shock and confusion. Taeyang, Rain, how? When did this happen? One, Taeyang, I don't know how to say this, but I'm telling the truth. Rain and I didn't do anything. After we got married, everything that happened was before our marriage. One voice trembled. The room felt like it was spinning. I could see the distress in her eyes, and it dawned on me that she was facing her own turmoil. Taeyang, one, I didn't know. I understand this is a lot to take in. One, emotion were raw and she struggled to find her words. One, I didn't want to keep this from you, Taeyang. I was afraid of how you might react. I took a deep breath, trying to calm the storm inside me. Taeyang, we both have secret while my own past is painful and I have kept it hidden. Even from my parents, I'm not angry at you. I need to understand everything just as you do. One reached out, her hand trembling. One thing, this is also complicated. I don't know how we are supposed to handle this. I took her hand, sequencing it gently. Taeyang, we will face it together. We need. One nodded, her eyes still filled with tears. One, yes, we need to talk about everything. I just need time to process this. As we sat together trying to navigate the complexities of our situation, I realized that while truth had come out, we both needed to find a way to deal with it. Our past and future were now intertwined. Once more, I could barely hold back my tears. The realization that I had made such a significant mistake hit me hard. I had never imagined that I would fall for Taeyang, who was still deeply affected by Yumi's memory. I understand that Taeyang loved Yumi and that his last connection to her was Taeji. When Taeyang, why did you hide this from long, even from my parents? Taeyang, how could I explain this? Before our marriage, I mustered the courage to tell my mom that Taeji was still alive. She was devastated. She was furious with me for lying about Yunbi and her child that all these years. If the world had known Taeji was alive, my enemies, the ones I had taken revenge on from my parents, would have died harm. I kept it secret to protect him. I told my mom right before our wedding. Out of desperation, I caused her to fall into a coma. I'm so sorry, Vine. His voice was filled with regret and pain. I saw the depth of struggle and sacrifice he had made, and it struck a chord deep within me. Despite everything, Taeyang had been protecting his family in the only way he knew how, even if it meant hiding pain truth. One thing, I understand it's a difficult choice I had to make. There's but so much to take, and I need time to process this. Taeyang, I understand when take all the time you need. I will be here to answer any question you have and support your thoughts. This. We sat in a silence for a while. We both lost in our thoughts. The weight of secrets had finally been laid bare, and it would take time to navigate the complexities of our intertwined lives. But as I looked at Taeyang, I know he had to face this together. One thing, if I accept Yunbi and your child as my own, will you also accept my and Train's child? Taeyang looked confused for a moment. His brows furrowed as he tried to understand my question. Taeyang, of course, One, you are my wife now. I need to do that. But why are you asking this question? And yes, I won't ask you to accept Taeji if it's too difficult for you. I know it will be hard since Taeji is almost 5 years old. One's voice swayed as she continued. Taeyang, do you think we can never be a real family despite our past? Will you ever be able to look at me without remembering Yunbi, or will I always be reminded of the love you lost? Taeyang's eyes softened and he took a step closer, gently cupping my face in his hand. Taeyang, you are not a reminder of what I have lost, but a promise of what I can have. I won't lie, the past is always with me, but my heart has a space for new love, and you have filled with warmth and hope. I want His word broke the dam, holding back my tears. I let them fall freely, my heart arching with a mixture of love and sorrow. I had doubted his feeling, his capacity to move on, but his eyes told me a story of resilience and unspoken promise. Maybe we could heal each other and create a family bond by more than just. Taehyung noticed my tears and gently wiped them away. Taehyung, while I know this is hard for you, relationships are complicated, especially when there are children involved. But I want you to know that I am committed to making this work. He took a deep breathing and continued his words steady and sincere. Taehyung, I loved you and Taiji is a part of her that will always be with me, but you are my wife now and that means we face everything together. Your past betraying is a part who you are just as Husb is part of me. I won't pretend it's easy, but I believe we can build a future together, one step at a time. He paused, searching my eyes to understanding. One, you don't have to force yourself to accept Taiji if it's too painful. We can take it slowly, but I promise I will do my best to be there for your child too. We both need to make a space in our heart. His words were mature and heartfelt. I felt a glimmer of hope amidst my confusion and pain. Taehyung's willingness to understand and share. Taehyung suddenly leaned towards me, cupping my chest with his hand as I searched mine as he asked, Taehyung, do you still want me? Do you still want this pathetic man who you once called a perfect man? I nodded slowly, my heart pounding. When I already told you, Taehyung, I will never change my mind. Taehyung smiled, holding my face closer until our lips mingled. He leaned in, his lip inches from mine, making my heart race even faster. Just before our lips met, he whispered, Taehyung, can I kiss you now? I shook my head and he smiled, pulling back slightly, but before he could move further, I grabbed his collar and pulled him back towards me. Crashing my lips onto his, I stood tiptoeing, feeling his one hand tighten around my waist and the other cupped my chin. In that moment, all the doubts and fears melted away, leaving the raw and